Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hive Doctor. This is going to be part 2 of my part 1 series about my queen tree, which I'm leaning up against here. Part 2, I'm going to be covering a ready-to-go 3-way mating nuke. I'm going to show you the details about that today, so stick around. Welcome back everyone. So in this video today, I've got this bad boy ready to go. I'm going to be splitting soon and making splits into my 3-way mating nukes so I can start raising queens. And of course that's something I'm going to time with my grafting so that everything works out ideal. And I can't wait to test this out and see how it works. So I'm going to show you the parts, how I've got this set up. So let's get into it. All right, so as you can tell, I've got this numbered. This is going to be, nuke number 1. Nuke number 2 is on the back side in the middle. Nuke number 3 is on the far side. And I've got tags to number the rest as I add. First thing what I've got here is a telescoping cover that removes and reveals this 3-way inner cover. It's just 3 individual inner covers. Now as far as this goes, I'm still not entirely satisfied with this design. I might come up with something different. The function, yes, the 3-way, the three individual lids, but as far as the buildup, I think I'm still going to be going over that. I've got a 3/8 inch buildup underneath that allows the bees a little bit of room to walk underneath this. And I still have to drill some feeding holes in this for my future top hive feeder. Other than that, these are ready to go. And like I said, I might tweak these a little bit to my satisfaction later. But this is designed for me to be able to work one mating nuke at a time. Right here's my divider board. There's no way that their neighbor here, no bees, especially the queen that's going to be in here, can cross over into this side. I can work one at a time, just like this. Do what I need to do, put it back together, and get out. And then I can work on to the next one, and so on. But removing these, here are my divider boards. They're real simple. They fit right down in these grooves that I created in the box here that you should have seen in part 1. So that there's absolutely no interaction between these 3 nukes. And these go right down onto the dividers that were put onto this special mating nuke bottom board, also covered in part 1. But what I've done with this is I've actually screwed the bottom board to this box. I want this to be one unit. And I don't want it to fall off in high winds, blow away, fall over, and harm my bees. So I've also attached this to this branch of the queen tree. Let me show you up close how I did that. So I really didn't want to screw my bottom board directly to the branch of this queen tree. And that's because I wanted some airflow to pass between the branch and my bottom board, because I don't want moisture to collect under here and ultimately rot out my bottom board sooner than it wouldn't necessarily happen. So I cut a couple of cleats out of pressure treated lumber and attached it to my bottom board here, and then one in the back there. And then on the underside of the branch, I put in 2 screws, one here, directly into this pressure treated lumber, and I did the same thing on the back. So now this is a solid unit. Bounces a little bit, but that's not a big deal. So I've got a really sturdy foundation here, something I can work at my level. This is never going to be added onto except for a top hive feeder. So I don't have to worry about reach and height. You don't manage mating nukes like you do regular colonies like I've got up here on the hill, where you stack super on top of super, especially during a honey flow, which is where we're at right now, the beginning of our wildflower flow here in North Georgia. But as you can see, I've also tagged these, and this is for kind of dual purpose for me. One is to keep records. I don't keep records with my regular colonies that I manage because I don't feel like I need to at this point in the game. I understand my environment. I understand my bees. When there's an issue, I fix it. I don't need to write a note telling me that I fixed it. It's just something that my brain keeps track of and it works out. But with this is a little bit more delicate work because of timing and growth. So I'm definitely going to be keeping records here. And the second purpose is I don't want any drifting. I don't know if like virgin queens drift when they come back, but these numbers, I mean, if they can recognize different colors, maybe they can recognize different shapes. I know they can't count, but surely they can recognize shapes, colors. Let's just say, you know, kindergarten level with recognition. And this might help identify that. But one of the things I've always understood about bees, and I've been asked this before, like, why do you paint all of your boxes yellow? My primary colonies are all yellow. They asked, am I not worried about drifting? And I'm really not. I know drifting is a thing, but I'm not too concerned about it because one, drifting when it comes to spreading varroa, I treat all my colonies consistently and the same. So the mite count is not gonna fluctuate too much between all of my hives. And second, bees not only orient themselves using color, but they spatially orient themselves as well. If I've got 4 colonies here, they know that theirs is the one on the right or the left. And if you'll know this if you've ever moved a hive from its spot, just for a second, you'll see all the bees returning to this space. And they're confused because now the hive is missing. I've done this for whatever I was doing at the time where I had to move a colony. The bees were returning to that space. Even though their box wasn't there, they knew that this was where home was. And then I put the box back and they would all just rush inside the entrance. So drifting is not really a top of my list for worries. But I thought it might help dual purpose maybe with my mating nukes. So I'm going for it. I'll go ahead and put this back together and bring you guys around the back of this colony so you can see what it's going to look like with the center entrance. And there's number 2 right there in the middle. And there will be another one of these on this side. They'll have about this much space between each other. I've seen colonies closer and they worked out just fine, so I'm not really concerned. I'm going to keep all of my center entrances towards the inside of my queen tree because I'd rather have 2 colonies come in rather than put the 2 entrance one on this side and have 3 colonies come in with all that traffic here. I don't want to create too much confusion, so I'm just going to keep it to where there's 1 and 1 rather than 1 and 2. And that'll happen down the line. This year I'm going to experiment with probably 5 of these. Next year I will build 5 more, see how it goes. Probably choose a different color. What do you think of this one? I got dark green, medium green, and another dark green. I think it's pretty. Next year's will be blue, kind of a dark blue, light blue, dark blue again. And I'm not in a hurry to make my top hive feeders yet because, like I said, we're in a honey flow right now, and it's a while before we get to our dearth. So I got plenty of time to plan for that, but there will definitely be a video on it. And I got one more thing I want to throw in the end of this video to show you that I've done with my regular colonies, kind of based on these tags here. And, well, I'll just take you there. So I learned something from my Oklahoma beekeeping mentor. He uses cattle ear tags to identify his colonies. And so I went and got some off Amazon. And those things, they're designed to last outside for a long time, you know, because they're hanging on the ear of a cow. So why not? And I screwed them to identify the spot on my hive stand rather than my colony, because I may have to move this equipment and I don't want that being on my equipment. So I'm just going to identify this spot as number 1, and so on and so forth. I got a bag of 100 of them. So shout out to Chester Howe. Thanks for that idea, buddy. You can check him out at Tops Outdoor Adventures on YouTube. Now I know I mentioned that I don't keep records, so why should I put these cattle ear tags to keep numbers on my regularly managed colonies? Well, I did it to kind of keep records of a sort, and that's mostly external, so I can see and easily count how many colonies I've got. Not that that's a difficult thing to do. I have 4-way hive stands, so if there's 4 colonies on a stand, and then I've got 4 hives, and I just look down the line. But anyways, I kind of like the thought of it. It gave an organizational look to my apiary that I really liked, but it's not so much for internal hive keeping records, mostly an external glance to see what I've got going on. And plus it just makes it look a little bit cool, like a little bit more official. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you do. And they're on the north side of my colonies, so they really don't even get direct sunlight. So they should last even longer for years to come, I think. But if for some reason, like, I do need to keep records, mostly in connection with my mating nuke, like maybe I grafted from hive number 1, or maybe I am using colony number 2 to raise my cells. In that regard, it's really gonna help me keep those internal records straight. So didn't want you to think that I don't keep records on these, because I didn't just get these tags to look cool. I did it for a purpose, and I may just discover what that purpose is as I go along. Let's check out how these girls are flying today. There is a flow going on. I appreciate you guys joining me today. I hope your bees are doing just as well, and I'll see you in the next video. Hive Doctor out.